Welcome to our final performance testing episode, where test specialist Matt Dubbs walks through the importance of monitoring and examples of diagnosing issues.
The last concern to enable effective load testing is the collection of results. Results collection is critical for identifying areas that can be optimized, determine actual performance versus goals, and indicate the solution's impact on host infrastructure. Load testing results are often the key performance indicator that drives the success versus failure criteria. However, results can and should include a lot more information. The system under test metrics, which include countless possibilities from Windows performance counters to performance APIs such as Redis info object, is vital to understanding the resource usage under load. Finally, diagnostic information, especially hang dumps and performance traces, details the impact of the solution code and are critical in the identification of potential opportunities for optimization. With the understanding of the elements that make up load testing, we can now put it all together. Load testing is a very iterative process. Run testing, determine if the outcomes meet goals, identify hotspots, apply optimizations, reiterate. In the next set of slides, I am going to demonstrate this workflow. In this demonstration, I'm going to load test a simple deployment made up of load testing resources, content delivery cluster, and an XConnect deployment. We begin by running initial load test. Fast forward multiple hours to get the initial results set, which clearly are far from acceptable. Analogous to a doctor who has to take a group of symptoms affecting a complex system such as a human body and make a diagnosis based on the results of various fragments of information, the first step almost universally is to narrow the focus. In this case, load test results do not present enough information to be actionable. Initially, we need to look at the solution architecture and understand what components could produce the pattern seen in the results. In this demonstration, content delivery, XConnect collection service, and XConnect collection database are the components identified as the most likely playing a role in the performance degradation. The next step is to employ diagnostic tools. In this case, we will trace early and late in the test run. In this demonstration, we will be collecting traces with a tool called Purview. This tool is free from Microsoft and is considered safe to run in production. Although a very effective tool, it is not going to win any UI awards. Purview includes many reports such as information around garbage collection. Based on the information provided in the slide, garbage collection is not a suspect. Purview breaks events down as activities, so it is possible to look at individual requests into the server, SQL statements, and web calls flowing out of the server. Examining the request flowing into the server between the early and late traces identifies a call that is getting more expensive over time. The evidence leads to a deeper analysis of the system counters for the SQL instance hosting the XConnect shard database. On examination, the collection shards are consuming at or above 85 to 90% of available DTU, indicating the collection database does not have adequate capacity. Adjusting the shard database instances and rerunning the test produce more acceptable results. It also demonstrates the impact of tracker session end. A good recommendation is testing for at least 2 times the session timeout length to get accurate results after the session end starts impacting the system. After many more test interactions, optimizing caches, and solution code, we start to get acceptable results. However, there is always one more possible run, and it was decided to run an endurance test for 24 hours. A sad and frustrating moment, as it appears memory is not stable over a longer test run. The graph represents an actual issue discovered during Sitecore 9.3 testing. It is a good recommendation to run endurance testing as performance results achieve goals. This situation also represents a good time to get Sitecore support involved. Support can often provide insights into many issues faced during testing or in production. Providing as much information as possible will allow support engineers to ramp up quickly. Support will often review the solution's configuration and offer applicable optimizations. Additionally, support may provide hotfixes to known issues. In rare cases, support may even recommend newer product versions that include resolutions to reported issues.
I hope you enjoyed our performance testing series. During this series, we tried to bring forth 3 major things. One of them, always performance test. Really, if you want to get the most out of your solution, you got to get performance testing in there and you got to do it continuously. Otherwise, any success you have is basically by chance. We also identified that you need to know what it is that you are trying to achieve. If you know where you're trying to get to in terms of a target, and you know what systems you're going to test, you're going to be able to be more successful. And finally, we wanted to highlight that monitoring is huge. Ultimately, you want to be able to identify issues before they become a major problem so you can get started on resolving them. But it also helps you in doing your testing as well. So make sure you're putting in proper instrumentation into your systems. Make sure to keep tuned to hashtag Learn Sitecore to get more great content from our community.